that sometimes, with the, oh, you're fine, with the poobahs. Do you mind if I use this because I'm experienced? Somebody's making one more time.
I know.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying.
Close it up. As fast as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Welcome to the graduation ceremony at the University of Akron. Please take a moment now to identify the nearest exit to you so you can safely exit the building if it should become necessary to do so. Out of respect for the dignity of this ceremony, we ask that you turn off your cell phone, pager, or other personal communication or entertainment devices. Please refrain from using personal communication devices during the ceremony. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding of this request. Our graduation ceremony will begin in a few moments.
candidates please be seated? Mr. President, the candidates are assembled.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. John Green, Interim President of the University of Akron. It is my privilege to extend a very cordial welcome to all who have joined us for the 219th commencement ceremony of the University of Akron School of Law. Today we are gathered in formal convocation to celebrate the 95th commencement exercises of the University of Akron School of Law. Will you please rise and join Professor Carol Desson in singing our national anthem?
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It is now my privilege to ask Dean C.J. Peters of the School of Law to extend his greetings and begin with introductions. Dean Peters.
Members of the Board of Trustees, President Green, University Vice Presidents, Deans, and other officials, School of Law faculty colleagues, members of the 2019 graduating class, and honored guests, thank you for joining us at this commencement celebration. Welcome, graduates, and congratulations. This class, as President Green mentioned, is the 95th to graduate from the school since its founding in 1921 as the Akron Law School. Today, the school will increase the ranks of its alumni to 8,311. On your journey to this achievement, you've been supported in so many ways by your parents, spouses, partners, friends, and other loved ones. In many cases, they have worked and sacrificed much to help you achieve this dream. So it is appropriate that we begin by inviting the families and friends of our graduates to please rise and let our graduates recognize you. Family and friends, please rise. Thank you. Please be seated. We will begin with a few important introductions. First, we are joined by representatives of our distinguished faculty, and I'm going to ask those that I'm going to introduce to rise and keep standing, and once I've introduced everyone, we'll have a round of applause for all of those who I'm going to introduce. So will the faculty first please rise? We are also honored to have with us members of the Board of Trustees of the University of Akron, I would ask that they stand as I call their names and remain standing. The Chair of the Board, Mr. Joseph M. Jingo of Akron. Vice Chair, Mrs. Olivia P. DeMoss of Richfield. And Student Trustee, Mr. Andrew Adolph of Canal Fulton. We're pleased to have with us members of the University of Akron administration. Will you please rise to be acknowledged? And we are likewise honored to have with us today the Honorable Judge Linda Tucci Teodosio of the Summit County Juvenile Court and the Honorable Judge Thomas Teodosio of the 9th District Court of Appeals. Will you please rise? Now please join me in greeting and welcoming our trustees, administrators, faculty, and special guests. Thank you all. You may be seated. I now ask Mr. Joseph Jingo, Chair of the University of Akron Board of Trustees, to extend greetings on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Dean Peters. Good afternoon. As a former graduate of the University of Akron School of Law, I'm especially honored to be here on behalf of the university's Board of Trustees to offer a warm welcome to our guests, and especially to the 2019 School of Law graduating class. Graduates, you are the primary reason why this university exists, and we thank you for entrusting us with your higher education. You had many options from which to choose, and we sincerely hope your Akron experience has proven that you chose wisely. In addition to conveying our gratitude, we want you to know that we appreciate and applaud your accomplishments here. Through great effort and perseverance, you have seized opportunities to broaden and sharpen your thinking, expand your worldview, attain professional and personal growth, and become educated citizens. Now, you have more and greater opportunities to thrive, to contribute, and to serve. My fellow trustees and I wish that the journey awaiting you will be filled with good health, good fortune, and continued success, and will, from time to time, lead you back here to your alma mater. We are honored to join with your families, friends, and faculty in celebrating this important milestone. Congratulations.
The University of Akron School of Law is now honored to welcome our commencement speaker, the Honorable Linda Tucci Teodosio, Akron Law Class of 1982. A native of Canton, Judge Teodosio is a graduate of the University of Akron, where she received her bachelor's degree, and of course, the University School of Law, where she met her husband, Tom, now a judge on the 9th District Court of Appeals. She began her legal career at the firm of Nukes and Parentinitis, later going into solo practice after the birth of her two children, one of whom, Christopher Teodosio, also a graduate of Akron Law, class of 2012, is now a practicing attorney at the Browse McDowell Law Firm. Judge Teodosio served as a staff attorney for the 9th District Court of Appeals and then became a magistrate in the Akron Municipal Court. She was elected judge of the Cuyahoga Falls Municipal Court in 1997 before being elected to the Juvenile Division of the Summit County Court of Common Pleas bench in 2002, where she continues to serve. Judge Teodosio has received local, statewide, and national recognition for her innovative programming and progressive approach to juvenile dispositions and rehabilitation. The common thread woven through these programs is her holistic approach, which integrates mental health, developmental disability, and substance abuse issues, and brings community collaborators to the table to help shape and implement evidence-based programs. She has received the MacArthur Foundation's Champion for Change Award for her work in the Models of Change Mental Health Juvenile Justice Action Network, as well as the prestigious Award for Innovation from the Margaret Clark Morgan Foundation. She's held a fellowship in the Georgetown University Public Policy Institute Center for Juvenile Justice Reform, and was a member of Columbia University's National Advisory Commission on Substance Abuse at America's High Schools. Judge Teodosio has been honored by both the Ohio Juvenile Court Judges and Magistrates Associations with their Judicial and Distinguished Services Awards. She was named Ohio's Public Official of the Year by the state chapter of the National Association of Social Workers, and she was recognized as an outstanding alumna of Akron Law in 2007. In 2016, she was honored by the Diocese of Cleveland with the St. Thomas More Award in recognition of the virtues of integrity and public service. In 2016, she received the Chief Justice Thomas Moyer Award for Judicial Excellence from the Ohio State Bar Association. Judge Teodosio has been president of the Akron Bar Association, president of the Board of Governors for the Akron Bar Foundation, president of the University of Akron School of Law Alumni Association, and a member of the Criminal Justice Advisory Board and the Summit County Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board. She's been a member of the Ohio State Bar Association for more than 30 years and was recently elected by her peers to serve as its next president. As president-elect, she will become an officer of the OSBA beginning on July 1st of this year and will take over as president in July of 2020. On a personal note, I would like to express my gratitude to Judge Teodosio for her unwavering support of her alma mater over the years, and my sincere hope that our soon-to-be graduates will look to Judge Teodosio as an exemplar of the power of a law degree to make positive change in our world. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished alumna, the Honorable Linda Tucci Teodosio.
Good afternoon. President Green, members of the Board of Trustees, Dean Peters, distinguished faculty, family, friends, and most importantly to you, the University of Akron School of Law 2019 graduating class. It is such an honor to be here to speak to you on this important day. I am really grateful and honored to be able to address you today, and it means so much more because I love this university so much. It has given me the education that I need to be able to do a job that I love, and no one can ask more of a university or institution of learning than that. Well, it's been just a few years. I can still remember the excitement of completing my law school education and savoring the moment of graduation before digging in to study for the bar exam. So today, take a breath, enjoy this day with your family and friends, and bask in the glow of your accomplishment. Tomorrow, you can start studying again. Today, I would like to talk a little bit about what I would like to call the 10 Commandments for new lawyers. They are some of the lessons that I have learned over the last 37 years, some because of good advice I received from others, other commandments that I learned the hard way. But I hope that they will help you as you move into this wonderful profession of the practice of law. Commandment 1, take your responsibility to the rule of law seriously. You have just spent the last several years studying every aspect of the law in our legal system. Because of your studies, upon passage of the bar, you'll be given the privilege to practice law in the state of Ohio or wherever else you may find yourself, as well as the responsibility of defending the rule of law. It is our system of justice that allows us to live in order as opposed to chaos, and guarantee that each of us, regardless of our race, gender, ethnicity, religion, or socioeconomic status, will be treated fairly in accordance with the law. Because of our law degree, we are able to represent others and take on their most important problems, and we have the ability to speak up against injustice in our communities and also against the unfair criticism of the courts and the legal system. I believe that we have a duty to defend our legal system. We studied the Constitution, we understand how laws are made, and we understand the importance of defending that Constitution. And even when we find ourselves in a situation where we may disagree with an argument that our opposing counsel is making, or with the particular decision that a court makes in our case, it's important for us to recognize that the system works well to defend all of us. The public looks at us, members of the legal profession, whether we are members of the bench or the bar, to speak out as representatives of the legal system And if we do not express respect and understanding of the importance of our system, how can we expect those who have not studied as hard as we have to do the same? And if they do not respect our legal system, they may lose confidence in our ability to protect the rights of all in a justice system that promises justice for all. Commandment number 2, be of service. Most of us became attorneys, at least in part, because we wanted to help people. Today I had the privilege to attend the Pro Bono Awards. And quite frankly, my husband and I were blown away by the number of hours that the individuals receiving recognition have committed already to pro bono service and public service. It's important that we do so. Because of your law degree and status as an attorney, you will have the ability to serve the community in which you live. We are often sought after to be parts of boards, because there's not a board around that doesn't need an attorney to take a close look at their bylaws to make sure that they're doing things in accordance with law. We are often asked to serve in government, whether it be on a city council, on a task force assigned by a mayor or another public official. These are important things. Now, not all of you will go into public service as my husband and I have, but that doesn't mean that your service is any less important. You can continue to provide those services to those who need it most, either by way of services as I've already outlined, or by doing pro bono work, because it is only you, the lawyer, that can provide access to justice for individuals who would otherwise not be able to afford to participate in our legal system. Discover what your passions are and follow those passions as you decide how and where you will serve, and serve as you are able. You are obviously off to a good start with the hard work that you've already done as a law student here at this wonderful university. Commandment number 3, find a mentor or a role model. You will find as you begin your legal career that you will need to deal with many things that aren't necessarily found between the covers of a book. They require that you have the ability to talk to others about life experiences and move yourself forward. A mentor or a role model can provide encouragement and guidance, and I was very privileged to have 2 of those as I began my career. The first was a professor that I had here at this School of Law, Professor J.D. Caro, who was in charge of the legal clinic when I was a student here back in the early 80s. He was constantly teaching me and encouraging me, but what he did for me more than anything else is that he never let me settle for anything but my very best. And that was an important lesson for me to learn. The second mentor that I had was the late Judge Mary Cassioppo, who attended the School of Law when she was the only woman in her law school class and really fought an uphill battle to be accepted as a woman in the law. I met Judge Cassioppo while I was still a law student. I had my intern certificate and I was presenting a case before her when she was serving as a referee in the domestic relations court. I handled the case. I was successful. It was a default, so there wasn't too much of a chance that I was going to lose. But all the same, as many of you have probably experienced when you're experiencing something for the first time, it can be very nerve-wracking. So after the case was over, she dismissed all the other parties and litigants and insisted that I stay. I was as nervous as I could be. I was certain I was in trouble or I had done something wrong. But instead, she surprised me when she praised me for how well prepared I was. She looked at me and she said, "Young woman, you will be a fine lawyer someday, and I'm here to help." I walked out of that courtroom and I felt like $1,000,000. I stayed in touch with Judge Cassioppo throughout the years. She continued to provide me with encouragement, support, and guidance when I ran for judge because she had already taken those steps. And I was very honored when I first was elected judge, she actually swore me in for the first time. And I really felt that things had come full circle. So the lesson behind that is find someone that you can relate to. You will find that lawyers are very, very generous with their time. They want you to be successful. They want you to achieve good things in the practice of law. And you will find that there are many lawyers out there that are willing to take you under their wing and provide you with guidance when you need it. The other part of this story is that you won't always be the new person on the block. You will get years of experience under your belt, and it's always important to reach back because you never know when a word that you say of encouragement to a fellow lawyer, especially one who's just starting out, may pull them along and help them to achieve success as well. Commandment number 4, you are always a lawyer. You know, I know that many times we talk about not taking your work home with you, and that is very, very important to try to remember. But when you're out in public, many people will know that you are an attorney. And the acts that you take, the way you handle yourself, may be the impression that people have of what lawyers are like. It's important that you act with dignity and be professional and humble at all times, because that's how we present ourselves to the public. The public will have a higher regard for the work we do and for the legal system as well. Commandment number 5, be ethical. I remember when I started out practicing law, one of the partners in the firm I started with told me, your word is your bond. It's important that you always be honest and ethical. Your honesty and professionalism are the most important things that you have to offer your client, your profession, and other attorneys. If you lose your reputation for honesty and professionalism, it's very, very difficult to retrieve. When in doubt about whether something is the proper road to take, ask someone. The other thing that you might consider doing is joining a local or state bar association. You'll find that that will give you ample opportunity to network with other lawyers who have faced issues similar to yours, and give you the ability to count on them to help you make the best decisions that you can for yourself in ethical situations, and the best professional decisions that you can make on behalf of your client. And I hope that I'm very serious about that. I hope that you do look to the bar associations. And as newer lawyers, the bar associations are there to serve you and help you to achieve satisfaction in your profession. If you're a member of a bar association and you feel that your needs aren't being met, it's important for you to step forward and let us know that. As incoming president-elect of the State Bar, it's a pledge that I make to you that I will certainly hear your concerns and hopefully make sure that the bar associations do what they need to do to better serve you as a professional. Commandment 6, always do your best work. And this is very important. You know, sometimes as lawyers you will receive cases and you look at the problems that the individual is bringing to you, and it may seem like a small problem. But just remember, clients come to lawyers because they are experiencing problems that they can't solve on their own. Maybe they've tried and they've been unsuccessful, but they've taken the very intimidating step to call a lawyer and say, I need help in solving a problem in my life. So again, while the problem may seem small to the lawyer, to the client, it is the most important problem that needs solved in their life at that particular time. So it's important that we always do our best, no matter how big or how small the client's problem is. When we do our best for others, we play a role in making life better in so many ways, and many ways that extend well beyond the practice of law. Let me give you an example of something very moving that happened to me recently that made me realize the impact that we can have on the community by always doing our best work. I recently lost my parents, who spent the last 9 months or so of their life in an assisted living facility. After my mother had passed away and my father was in his final days, an aide came up to me and thanked me for giving her the honor and privilege of caring for my parents. And I thought, boy, that was so sweet of her to say. And she gave me a hug and looked at me and said, I know you don't remember me. She related to me that a few years earlier, her teenage son had gotten into some trouble and had appeared in my court. She told me how happy she was that I had taken the time to learn about him, to learn about her family, to learn about what he needed, and help the family get him back on track again. She told me that she was happy that in turn she was able to do something for my family because she as well had certain gifts that she could give to others as well. And so it's important to remember that when we do our best work for others, we inspire not only lawyers to do their best work, but others into whom we come into contact with to do their very best in whatever their line of work may be. Commandment 7, remember where you came from. And this is one that hits me in the heart. I have had the privilege to serve for a judge many, many years in this community, and it has been the greatest experience of my life to be able to work with children and families. But I remember where I came from. My grandmother, who was the only grandparent that I knew growing up, made a very, very courageous trip. She had a third-grade education, and she got on a ship with her infant daughter to cross the ocean from Napoli, Italia, to come to Boston, Massachusetts, where she got on a train to come to Canton, Ohio, where her husband had gotten a job with the Timken Company and made a home. She didn't have a lot of education. She didn't speak the English language. The culture here was different to her. But she had the courage to come to this country to make a better life for her children and grandchildren. When I think about the courage that she had and the trip that she made, I realize that I stand on her shoulders in all that I do, and I always like to remember the importance of that when working with other people who are facing similar struggles. Commandment 8, make time for your family. They are the most important thing. As a lawyer, you will find that clients, caseload, other obligations call you, but make the time for your family. I have yet to hear of a person who on their deathbed said, gosh, I wish I would have spent more time at the office. It just doesn't happen. So, cherish that time that you have with your family. I know that other lawyers, that courts understand that family obligations are important, and it's important that you remember that as well as you move through this important profession and career that you will have. Commandment 9, exercise self-care. And this is one of those lessons I learned the hard way. For a long time, I worked extremely hard, and I didn't take the time that I really should have to take care of myself. And what really brought me around is I was on a plane one day, and I heard the flight attendant saying, as you probably all have as well, that in the event of a decrease in cabin pressure, the oxygen mask will come down, and you should put on your own oxygen mask before you try to help somebody else. Well, there's a reason for that. This is because you can't really help others if you're not healthy and haven't taken care of yourself. So it's important to remember that you can only do your best work for your clients. You can only do your best work in dealing with the serious problems that they bring you if you're taking care of yourself. We know this profession can be very stressful, and even more so in this day than it was back in 1982 when I crossed the stage. You're dealing with the 24/7 availability of yourselves to your clients. When you leave the office at the end of the day, you still have that smartphone with email and texting and the expectations that you will be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And number one, that is something that I would suggest that you, at least at certain points of time, put down the smartphone and move away and really enjoy your time with family and friends. But also, I think it's important that if you're going to do well in your profession, that you develop some good habits. Exercise, eating well, and doing all things in moderation will keep you healthy and better able to care for your clients. For me, I love to run. I find that if I'm out on the trails running with friends or even by myself, alone with my thoughts, it really helps keep me centered. My husband loves to work in our yard, and we have a beautiful backyard, which is as a result of his hard work and making our lives better. But I know other lawyers who do things like yoga, they paint, they play music, or they engage in Bible study, something that allows them to maintain wellness. Find what centers you and make time for it in your life. Don't use it as something that you will do if you have the time. Make sure you find the time, because that will keep you centered, it will keep you well and better able to do your job and better able to be there for your family. Commandment 10 on my list I think is the most important because it pulls in everything else I've already talked about. And I'm not going to tell you what it is right away. Instead, I'm going to illustrate it through a story that I like that you may have heard before. The author of this story is unknown, but I think it's very important. A philosophy professor stood before his class with some items on the table in front of him. When the class began, he wordlessly picked up a large jar and placed it on the table and proceeded to fill it with rocks about 2 inches in diameter. He then asked the students if the jar was filled after he put in as many of the rocks as he could, and they agreed it was full. At that point in time, he picked up a box of pebbles and began to pour that into the jar. He shook the jar lightly until all the pebbles fell down in between the rocks, filling it once again. He then asked the students if it was full, and they agreed it was, until the professor pulled up a box of sand. He took the sand and poured it into the jar and again shook it until the sand filled up the nooks and crannies between the rocks and the pebbles. He asked the class one more time if the jar was full, and the students responded yes, and at this time the professor agreed. "Now," said the professor, "I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. The rocks are the important things in your life. Your family, your partner, your health, your career, your children, things that if everything else was lost, your life would still be full. The pebbles are the other things that matter, like your house, your car, your material possessions, things of that nature. The sand is everything else. It's the small stuff. If you put the sand in the jar first," he continued, "there's no room for the pebbles or the rocks. The same goes for your life. If you spend all your time and energy on the small stuff, the sand and the pebbles, you will never have the room for the things that are the most important to you, the rocks in your life. Pay attention to things that are critical to your happiness. Play with your children. Go out to dinner with your partner or your spouse. There will always be time to work, clean the house, give a dinner party, or fix the disposal. Take care of the rocks first. Those are the things that really matter. Set your priorities. The rest is just sand." So the most important commandment is think of the other commandments. Think about what your priorities are and set those priorities now as you embark in a career which I guarantee you will be rewarding in so many ways. If you can take the time to set those priorities and then review them every once in a while to make sure that you are in fact following through with the priorities, and from time to time brush the sand out of your life so you have the time to enjoy the things that matter the most. I thank you once again for the privilege of addressing you today. I can assure you this has been a highlight of my career, to come back to my alma mater and to be able to address all of you at the law school that I love so well. It has given me everything. I met my husband there, and it's been the best profession I could ever hope for. And I think that you will find, as I have, that the School of Law here at the University of Akron has prepared you well for the tasks that await you. I wish you all the success in your profession, and I'm happy to welcome you into that profession today. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Teodosio, for your timely and thought-provoking remarks. Members of the class of 2019, we continue today an ancient tradition of assembling in formal convocation to recognize those who have reached significant milestones on the road to knowledge and accomplishment. And so we are gathered for this commencement together with the graduates of our law school. With no small measure of effort and self-discipline, you have learned to apply critical thinking, new information, and new technologies with the ancient wisdom of the law. And along the way, surely you have discovered that learning is a continuous process. Now you will go out into the world and be subject to many professional, ethical, and even moral challenges that will test your skills and your courage. I trust that in the course of your rigorous education here, you have developed the tools and the commitment needed to meet those challenges successfully and to identify other opportunities to advance your profession and the American legal system. On behalf of the School of Law faculty, the staff and administration, your fellow students, and the University of Akron family everywhere, I salute you, the School of Law class of 2019, together with your family and friends who have helped make this success possible. Congratulations again.
Now, graduates, families and friends, colleagues, we are about to participate in and witness a significant rite of passage. And rites of passage we celebrate together, gathering in community with those who love and support us and those who have brought us to this moment of change makes the transition even more meaningful. Coming together as a community calls us to our purpose, reminds us that we do not reach our goals alone. and signifies that what we celebrate here today is greater than our individual accomplishments. We are proud to be a law school of access and opportunity, with the faculty and staff devoted to preparing each of you to realize your goals. The Juris Doctor graduating class of 2019 was composed of 129 students. You came from Ohio, from Colorado, from Iowa, from New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Washington, and Wisconsin, and from Korea, with a wide range of experiences and backgrounds. In your years here, you have forged friendships and professional bonds and left your marks on our law school culture. Today, 129 of you celebrate the awarding of your Juris Doctor degree. 2 of you are receiving your JD and LLM in intellectual property at the same time. 31 of you are earning certificates, 7 in intellectual property, 14 in litigation, 3 in constitutional law, and 7 in health law. All of you have contributed to making the University of Akron School of Law what it is, and you will continue to shape our community as alumni. After you leave here today, you will follow separate paths. Many of you will remain in Ohio to build your careers. A number of you will relocate to Arkansas, to Iowa, Maryland, New Jersey, Tennessee, New York, and other states. At least one of you will practice in Asia. And I'm very pleased to acknowledge that some of you will begin immediately to practice law, having completed your degrees in January, passed the rigorous Ohio bar examination, and been sworn in as new lawyers less than a week ago in Columbus. Will our newly admitted lawyers here today please rise so we can recognize and congratulate you? Thank you. Class of 2019, through hard work, you have earned a legal education that can endow you with special power to help people and change the course of events. As lawyers, you will possess a unique capacity to shape the world around you. People will ask you to use that power to solve problems in their lives, their businesses, and their communities. Always remember that your power comes with the responsibility to use it judiciously. It is a lawyer's duty to help bend the arc of the moral universe in the direction of justice. In your legal careers, you will face many circumstances in which the legally correct thing to do is unclear. In those circumstances, ask yourselves, which course of action will best serve the goal of justice? Use the answer to that question to inform your dealings with your clients, your fellow attorneys, the legal authorities, and the courts. In your time here, you have proven your commitment to justice through your service. Every one of you has contributed significant pro bono service hours. As a class, you contributed a total of 14,054 hours of pro bono and community service, 7,806 of them to those of limited means. That deserves a round of applause. I'm confident that you will continue this impressive dedication to the highest ideals of our profession. Today, 2 students will receive the Parentinitis and Nolan Pro Bono Award for their inspirational example of volunteer public service. They will be recognized for this honor as they cross the stage. At this moment in your lives, you stand at a rare and special vantage point, able to focus both on what you have completed well and on what you are about to begin. As you prepare to take your next step, whatever it may be, please know that your alma mater will always be here to help you find your way. Will the candidates for the Juris Doctor degree and for the Joint Juris Doctor and Master of Laws in Intellectual Property please rise? Mr. President, these students have satisfactorily completed the course of study prescribed by the faculty of the School of Law for the JD or JD LLM degrees and have been recommended by the law faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees as worthy of the JD or JD LLM degrees. I now present them to you so that you may confer these degrees upon them.
Exercising the authority of the trustees of the University of Akron, legally vested by the people of the state of Ohio, and upon the recommendation of the faculty of the university, I now confer upon you who have fulfilled the highest requirements of this university the Joint Juris Doctor Master of Law in Intellectual Property, or the Juris Doctor degree, with all the rights, privileges, duties, and responsibilities of that degree. As evidence of this achievement, you will now be vested with the hood of the LLM or the Juris Doctor and receive an appropriately inscribed diploma. Please come forward at the direction of the Associate Marshals.
In appreciation and respect for all our graduates, we ask you to hold your applause and any acknowledgments of your individual students so that our graduates and their guests are able to hear their names read. Thank you. Julia Brianne Atkins, Pro Bono Award. Sarah A. Altintas. Cale D. Anderson. Sarah K. Blank, magna cum laude. Isaac Z. Borsch, cum laude. Joseph Aaron Bruce, summa cum laude. Logan D. Bryant, magna cum laude. Tyler J. Burke. Kevin D. Burwell. Bradford M. Chapman. Mariah K. Cheatham. Benjamin H. Childers. Colin P. Cochran, cum laude. Emily K. Dawson, cum laude. Hillary F. Desisor, magna cum laude. Daniel Brian DeVito. Chloe Catherine DeAngelis. Rachel L. DeGeneva. Stephanie M. Donahue. Alexandra C. Eckridge. Nicolette P. Estock. Kelsey Ann Ewing. Audrey M. Feddick. Nathan M. Fulmer, cum laude. James R. Galla III, cum laude. Kevin B. Gardner, cum laude. Megan E. Garland. Athideu Amar Gadapande, cum laude. Madison K. Groner. Jamie J. Gross, cum laude. Sarah L. Grosswiller. Alicia M. Harrison, magna cum laude. Megan Elizabeth Hobart. Vaughn E. Hokinson. Daniel Husted. Serena R. Barachek. Giovanna Ilich. Ashley S. James, cum laude. Sherlick Dominique Diamond Jarvis. Michael A. John. Reese Gennard. Jason Jordan, magna cum laude. Nicholas Elias Karam, magna cum laude. Gaia Kusatli, magna cum laude. Lauren G. Kitchen, cum laude. Christina N. Kleka. Ross M. Kowalski, summa cum laude. Margaret O. Krisher, cum laude. Ashley M. Lance, magna cum laude and pro bono award. Mark Richard Larson, cum laude. Jennifer K. Latiker. Wonju Lee. Ariel J. Lester, cum laude. Kristen Haley Leuchtag. Zachary J. Lindesmith. Jake M. Lynn. Deanna N. Laudadio. Keenan E. Mack. Joseph A. Maloney, magna cum laude. Alexander J. Monvillas, cum laude. Kara Marlin, magna cum laude. Kayla Lynn Majek, cum laude. Amanda Nujar May, cum laude. Danelle A. McBroom. Alexander I. McChesney. Christina McCrossan. Hugh D. McDaniel, magna cum laude. Nicholas J. McIntyre. Spencer A. Michaels, magna cum laude. Sarah Veronica Mills, magna cum laude. Justin P. Morgan. Cassandra E. Muller. Samantha R. Nagy, cum laude. Emily Elizabeth Page, cum laude. Mark A. Peasley, summa cum laude. Christopher W. Peshek. Ethan J. Peters, magna cum laude. John N. Phillips, summa cum laude. Rachel J. Pico. Jacob E. Reed, summa cum laude. Joseph E. Ryan. Joseph T. Romanowski. Natalie N. Rothenbucher. Lisa A. Sabo. Ryan J. Sanders, cum laude. Jennifer M. Cerolino. Danielle Shantz, summa cum laude, Editor-in-Chief. Shayla Murray Schroeder, magna cum laude. Cassandra Elizabeth Sensky. Daniel R. Schisler, summa cum laude. Christopher Wilhelm Shumsky. Daniel R. Slattery, magna cum laude. Kristen L. Smith. Kirsten L. Smith. Sarah G. Smith, magna cum laude. Timothy David Smith. Elaine Catherine Souter, cum laude. Heather Steele, magna cum laude. John P. Stiles, cum laude. Taylor Stott. Nicholas John Circala II. Mark H. Swart. Elizabeth J. Tagg, summa cum laude. What did I say? Kelly Elizabeth Talaganis, magna cum laude. Nicole M. Thorne, magna cum laude. Caitlin M. Thurman, cum laude. Kelsey M. Tillis. Justin Jaden. Alexis N. Torres. Wayne E. Wheeler. Adam J. Warner. Zach C. Warren. Annie Wojcicki, cum laude. Mary Kay Jakobik, cum laude. Amanda M. Zaginer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present to you the University of Akron School of Law Class of 2019.
Wow. That's a lot of volume. We all have to catch our breath here for a minute. We can proceed with the ceremony. The Donald M. and Mary E. Jenkins Award for Highest Scholastic Achievement is presented to the graduate with the highest grade point average for work on this campus, culminating in the Juris Doctor degree. The award honors former Dean and Professor Emeritus Donald M. Jenkins, a graduate of the class of 1964, for his dedicated leadership toward academic excellence, and his wife, Mary E. Jenkins. This year's recipient of the Donald M. and Mary E. Jenkins Award is Mark Peasley. Mr. Peasley, please come forward. Come on up, Mark. I'm going to figure out what we do with you here in a minute. I think we sit you down. Congratulations, Mark. It's a great achievement. I now call forward the outgoing editor-in-chief of the Akron Law Review, Danielle Shantz, to present the 2019 class gift, as well as outgoing Student Bar Association President Ashley James to present the Outstanding Professor of the Year Award. Danielle, Danny, and Ashley, come on up.
Each year, the graduating class contributes a gift to begin their legacy as Akron Law alumni and to memorialize their class to those who will grace the classrooms and corridors of the School of Law long after we leave. The money raised from this year's class gift campaign will be contributed to the Emergency Scholarship Fund. If you've not already contributed to the class gift, you may do so by returning the class gift donation form that is included as a part of an informational packet for graduates, which you will receive by email. Thank you.
Each year, the graduating class presents the Outstanding Professor of the Year Award to recognize the faculty member whose instruction and presence hold special meaning to them. This year's finalists are Professor Willa Gibson, Associate Professor Patrick Gaughan, and Assistant Clinical Professor Elizabeth Knowles. Each of these professors is remarkable, teaching with passion and enthusiasm that inspires students to develop a great appreciation for the law. Unfortunately, we are limited to one award. For all he has done for the University of Akron School of Law, and specifically for all he has done for this graduating class as a mentor both within the classroom and beyond, it is my personal honor to announce the class of 2019 presents this year's award to Associate Professor Patrick Gaughan.
Well, thank you, the class of 2019, for this great honor. Now that I actually have the plaque, there's one additional honor, though, that you can also give me, which is to go out and continue to pursue greatness and keep in touch. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the president of the School of Law Alumni Association, Ms. Kara Staley Rafferty. Kara is senior counsel at Ogletree Deacons in Cleveland, Ohio. She represents employers in all phases of employment litigation in both state and federal courts, as well as before various administrative agencies, including the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission and the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. Prior to joining Ogletree Deacons, Kara served as a law clerk to the Honorable John R. Adams of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Ohio. Kara is admitted to the bar of the United States Supreme Court and is also a member of the Ohio State Bar Association. Kara graduated from Akron Law cum laude in 2004. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Kara Staley Rafferty.
Thank you, Dean Peters, and many congratulations to the graduates, their supporters, and believers. Think how far you have come from the first day of orientation to the law school graduation ceremony. Now that you officially are alumni, you share a common bond with more than 8,000 graduates of Akron Law. I welcome you on behalf of the Akron Law Alumni Association Board and the rest of your fellow alumni. The vibrancy of the Alumni Association depends on you, and the fresh perspective you have is welcome. While you may be leaving behind torts classes and final exams, you are not leaving Akron Law behind. We will always be here for you. A vast network of Akron Law alumni is available to support you in your personal and professional endeavors. It is my charge as president of the Akron Law Alumni Association Board to make sure that you tap the resource that the Alumni Network is in a position to provide you. To your fellow alumni and our alma mater with all that we need for continued success. We cannot wait to see the great things that you will do. Revel in the excitement and significance of today, a day when you and your classmates, friends, and family celebrate your accomplishment and achievements. Savor this day. Never doubt, even for a moment, your ability to succeed. I distinctly remember sitting in your seat. I had no idea what the future held for me, but I suspected that many of my work relationships, whether they be coworkers, opposing counsel, judges, referral sources, or confidants, would be with fellow Akron Law alumni. That has turned out to be true. In fact, my path has led me back to the law school and to service on its alumni board. The same thing is true of all of you right now. You don't know where your path will lead, but for most of you, Akron Law and your fellow alumni will continue to play a role in your professional lives. And so I charge each of you, regardless of where your path takes you, to stay active in Akron Law activities as alumni. Stay true to what this institution and your time here have taught you, and stay generous with your time, energy, and treasure. If you do that, I promise that you will receive back tenfold. My warmest wishes go forward with all of you. And once again, congratulations, Dean Peters.
Thank you, Kara. Mr. President, will you lead us in the closing of this ceremony?
Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite you to join Professor Carol Dessen in singing our alma mater. Please rise. You can find the words, if you haven't committed them to memory already, in your program.
Beside Cuyahoga's waters, stream of amber hue, our old bottle summit's glory waves the gold and blue. Hail we Akron, sound her praises, speed the more the gale. Ever stand our alma mater, Akron hail, all hail.
You may be seated. Let us now express our appreciation to the talented musicians who have enhanced this ceremony. Join me in thanking our vocalist, Professor Carolyn Dessen, our guitarist, Mr. Zach Wood, and Dr. Christopher Baja and the University Akron Brass Choir. I also would like to acknowledge our interpreters, Lori Palmer and Nicole Babb, for their important efforts today. Immediately following the recessional, all of you are invited to attend a reception in the Goodyear lobby. And so we conclude our commencement ceremony. On behalf of the trustees, faculty, and the University of Akron family everywhere, I wish you happiness, much success, and many happy returns to your alma mater.
As we conclude our commencement exercises, we ask the stage party to please rise and remain standing. We ask our graduates to rise and remain standing, please. Guests of graduates, please remain seated until our recessional is concluded. We also suggest that you meet your graduate in the Goodridge lobby. Thank you for attending the 95th commencement exercises of the University of Akron School of Law. Have a good day.